So see, we saw classical report events, right? In the previous session, we saw classical report events. So we have some extra forms of it also. Interactive classical report events. Interactive classical report event. Interactive classical report event. This will be our today's topic, and we will try to end this chapter today. Interactive classical report. So in the classical report, what we have saw till now? We saw lots of events. We saw how to create a program. We saw how to create a program, right? Not joins. All right, let's create a program. G classical report ABAP. Classical report ABAP. Type executable. Press enter. Package. Transport request. Okay. So how we were displaying a output from employee table, we are creating a structure, right? So structure, begin of ty employee, column names followed by their data elements. This is what we were doing. Or let me bring it from some other programs which I have already written. Structure. Then we have definition of internal table and work area. Then we were defining a select option, right? Select option. After that, we used start of selection event to write our selection logic. Right? This is what we have done. And then we were displaying it. So loop add LT employee into LS employee. And loop. And we were writing our output here. So write ls employee hyphen employee ID, ls employee hyphen employee name, ls employee hyphen department, ls employee hyphen manager. This is what we were doing. Pretty printer, syntax check, activate, execute, we are getting the result. Now I have a question. Are we able to interact with the output of this particular classical report?
No.
If I want to perform something here, if I'm clicking, selecting or doing anything, am I able to perform anything? No. I'm not able to do anything with my output. So with this, we have interactive classical report. So in classical report, we only display output in the form of a basic list. There is no interaction with the output. There is no interaction with the output. But But in our interactive classical report, we can interact with the output and we can get a secondary list from that. You can get a secondary list also. That is, if you will double click on this basic list, you can get your secondary list also. So we have some of the classical report event for your interactive classical reports. So types of interactive classical report. We have 3 types of interactive classical report: at line selection, at user command, at line selection, at user commands, top of page during line selection, top of page during line selection. 3 kinds of event we have. So when we double click on the line of the basic list, when we double click on the line of the basic list, then at line selection event is triggered. And this event also triggers when we select a line and we press F2 button. At line selection event is an event which will be triggered when you will double click on any line of your basic list, and this event also triggers when we select a line and we press F2 button. That is, let's say we have a requirement. When I'm double clicking on it, I want to display my project data, right? We have got project data for 101, 102 also, 103 also. So if you want to display them, you can accordingly do that. Using this particular event. So what I will do, I will create a structure for my final project table now. Begin of ty_project. I will create it. I will give here my columns. I will pass my column names, project ID, type the data element. So project ID, project name, type data elements, and of ty_project. This is my structure. I will click on pretty printer. Then I will go for the definition, LT project, type table of ty project, ls project, ty project, right? This is how we'll define that. Now this event is going to be triggered. So if I am writing here at line selection event, this event should be triggered at line selection. I will put here a breakpoint to check if it is triggering or not. Execute, get the output and double click. See, this event is triggering. This event will also trigger if I will select this line and I will click on this F2 button. See, we have a F2 icon here now. Once I have written there at line selection. But if I will remove at line selection from here, let me check it will come or not. Execute. Yeah, it is not coming, right? So this icon will only appear when you are going for at line selection event. So if you will select any line and you will click on this F2 button, again this event is going to be triggered. So two ways are there to trigger this event. It will be triggered when we will go for it. Now the question is, how will I know which line I have selected? So on the basis of that, I can display my secondary list. How will I know that? How will I know that? So for knowing, we have two important system variables here. Two important system variables we have. System variables in interactive classical report events. We have two important system variables. LISL, LISEL. It is a system variable which returns the content of the selected line, that you have selected on the output screen. And then we have another system variable, SILSIND. It is a system variable which returns the index of the displayed list. It is a system variable which returns the index of the displayed list. SILSIND. So now if you want to check, what you can do, we already have breakpoint at line selection. Go for execute, double click on any row, double click, event will be triggered. Go in desktop 3 and here you are required to check for it. You can check SILSIL and SI-LSIND. SI-LSIND. So now if you go, can you see we are getting our selected list, right? We are getting our selected list. So since we are getting our selected list, we can do substring processing. Do you remember substring? I can get this value from here. I can get this value using substring, and once I will have the value, what I can do, I can write logic based on that. So if I will write here SILSIL like this one, starting from 0 up to 3 character, and I will press enter, I will get this value. Right? So based on this system variable, I can write data for project. Now I have my employee ID, right? I can do that. So now I can go to my add line selection event. And I can write my query. So select employee ID and project ID, project name from my table name into table LT project, where your employee ID is equal to SILSIL plus 0 up to 3 characters. So starting from 0 index, it will go up to 3 characters, and the same value on the basis of that will bring data from my project table, and then I will simply display it, right? Loop at LT project into LS project and loop and write the data. Simple. Activate. There is some error. Let's check the issue. Issue is at line 52. Project name, it's saying loop is not allowed here. Loop add LT project into LS project.
Will be only.
Oh, sorry, there is, I have not given period at line 49. Now it is done. Execute, execute, double click, see 102 values, 103 values, 104 values, 105 values. But if I'll go for 106, no data is coming because there is no data. There are no data for item. No data is for item. So my write statement is not triggering for 106 and 107. This is your interactive classical report. You are able to interact with the output. Output. Clear?
Yes, it's clear.
At line selection. Then we have another kind of event, add user command. Add user command. So when user clicks on the function created using PF status, at that time this add user command event triggers. At that time this user command event triggers. We have a system variable here. The system variable iucom is used to capture the value of the function code. So you can define your own functions from here, your own functions. Till now what you can see, we have got all these function keys, but they are standard ones. Right? They are standard ones. But now you can define your own function codes also. You can define your own function codes using add user command event. Add user command. So let's say on the basic list output, I want to display here two function keys, two buttons for ascending and descending. When I will click on ascending, my data will be displayed in the ascending. When I will click on this descending, my data will be displayed in the descending order. I'm going to create two functions here. How will I do that? Let's check. So I will go for my creation of function from here. Let's go and create. Go back. I will create my function. Set pf status. Set personal function status. Give the name of your anything, any name. Okay. Now if you will double click, yes, give here a short description also. Let's say I'm naming it function. I will press enter. See here, this is your user interface, menu bar, application toolbar, and function keys. Can you see all these functions? Are they the same thing that is appearing here? Are they the same thing that is appearing on the above? You can use these functions also to define your logic, or you can create your own function here. Let's say I'm creating my own function, ascending or ascending order. I will double click. Yes, press enter. I will give a here ascending order. I will also give a icon here. You can select any of the icon. Let me check if is there anything there for sort. Yeah, we have icon sort of ascending order. I will select this one. Ascending. Go for OK button. You can give any shortcut key also. And you can give here a icon text that will be displayed. So I will select ascending order and I'll go for OK button. Okay. Same thing I will go give for descending also. descending also. Press enter, stay descending, descending order. I'll go for F4, sort. This time for descending order, this icon I will select, and descending, go for OK. Let's take this time this shortcut key and descending order again, icon text, descending order. Okay, okay. Activate it. Activate it. Now go back. So whatever function keys that we have given, the same name are your function code that you will receive, and you will double click on that. You will get the same thing in the your SciUCom system variable. You will get the same thing in this SciUCom system variable. Okay. So if you want, you can do one thing. You can put here a breakpoint. You can put here a breakpoint. I don't think this one will be triggered. How will I check that? It will appear on the output screen, right? So let's do one thing here. I will use at user command event. At user command event to check that. At user command. When user will give here the command, this event will trigger. So I will give here a breakpoint. At user command, and I will give here a breakpoint. Execute, execute. Now just see, two functions are appearing, ascending order and descending order, right? So when I will click on this one, can you see our event is triggering? Can you see our event is triggering? Now if you will pass here your system variable, SciUCom, press enter. Can you see the same function code is coming that we have given there? Right? So the same thing we can do based on that. But now can you see this thing? Our function are missing. Our function are missing, right? All our function code are missing. The reason is pretty clear. If you will define your own screen, if you will define your own function on the screen, it will become your own screen. Now it is not the standard one screen. It is your own use screen. That is why your entire function is missing. So if you want to display them, you will have to do this thing, double click on the function. Here you will have to define it again. Let me just write this name back, and I will write logic for this back button. Then only then this back will appear. I will go to my at user command, and I will write logic for my back first. So if SciUCom is equal to back, then I will tell my system to go to the previous screen. Go to the previous screen, that is leave to screen 0, go to the previous screen. So now your back button will appear there. Now your back button will appear. Go and check. Execute, execute. You see back is appearing. Click and see it is working, right? Same thing we can do for ascending and descending also. So to make them useful, if SciUCom equals to ascending, what I will do, I will sort my internal table in ascending order. So sort lt employee by employee ID ascending, and I will simply display my data. After sorting. Creative printer. The same thing I will do for descending also. So if SciUCom equals to descending, then I will sort in descending order, and I will display my data. So sort lt employee by employee ID descending, and I will simply display my data. Activate, execute, and check. Can you see?
Mhm.
Right? Our code is changing now. Our code is changing on the output screen. Right? It is changing. Is it clear?
Mhm.
So this is your another kind of event. Then we have at last, third one, top of page during line selection. Top of page during line selection. So this event calls when the first write statement occurs in a program for a page on the secondary list. When the first write statement occurs in a program for a page on the secondary list, this event triggers. What is the purpose of this event? The purpose of this event is to provide is to provide a title or header at the beginning of a new page, beginning of a new page on the secondary list. This is its purpose, to display secondary list, to display a heading or title at the at the beginning of a new page on the secondary list. So if you want to display a title, you can use this at uh, what is this event top of page during line selection. So now I will use this event top of page during line selection to display my out. Let's name it top of page during line selection event. Okay, I will use write statement. I'll give here adding project details because we are displaying the project details there. Let's check if it is working or not. Execute, execute. It is not working, right? Our
Mhm.
at line selection event is not working. We'll have to go back and check. The reason is pretty simple. Since you are using this at user command set pf function, what it is doing, it is simply changing the display of your screen. That is why your back and all those buttons are not working there. So we will have to remove this thing. Rest now I believe it should work. Let me check. Execute. Is it still not? No, it is working now. Can you see? All of them are
Mhm.
working perfectly fine. Our back and all of them are appearing, because since we have used our set pf status option, because of that our screen have changed. We have manually that user defined screen was get displaying there. So now since I have commented it, I am able to use it again. I will double click here and you can see for every page this project details will appear as the heading. For every page this project details will appear as the heading now.